Dennis the Menace. Guys, I don't usually stream live. I do a lot of professionally recorded videos. You can go check those out on my page. And I'm asking it, when you see this video, even if you see this video when I'm not live anymore, please do me a favor. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and go check out a few of my other videos. And if you have something to say, feel free to jump in the comment section. I try to keep the comment section non-judgmental. And it looks like Zelensky has pissed Donald Trump off. Of course, we all know he did in the Oval Office. But it looks like Donald Trump has decided that he wants to play hardball with, I believe it's Vladimir Zelensky. And today he made a decision to either bring them to the negotiating table or to put them in a predicament over time where they have no other choice but to come back to the negotiating table. We're going to get into that in just a second. I'm going to wait a little bit and let a few people come in. Again, give me a like, give me a share, give me a subscribe, and let's talk about it. Of course, the other day, on Friday of last week, we all saw I believe it was Friday or Saturday of last week, we all saw the circus in the White House between Vladimir Zelensky and Donald Trump. Or you could say as well, J.D. Vance, who some people say instigated the whole thing. But according to multiple sources, Zelensky has been pretty hard to deal with from the beginning. But the other day, it all came to a head. And old Vladimir Zelensky showed his ass in the Oval Office. And some people feel like he had the right to because, of course, he's a president who had just come from a war zone. So some people feel some type of sympathy for that. And he was trying to get the best deal for his people. And other people believe what Donald Trump said. He doesn't hold enough cards and enough negotiating power to make any demands, or more commonly known as beggars can't be choosers. Of course, he received money from Europe, around $100 billion from multiple nations across Europe, but he's also received $350 billion from the United States alone. Europe did theirs in the form of loans, and Joe Biden gave Zelensky free money. And now Donald Trump wants to get some of the minerals out of the ground in Ukraine so that the United States is not just getting a short end of the stick. I mean, we got money, but it's still important that we get what we need when we need it. And $350 billion worth of B is not the type of money that you need to play with and just hand out and say, here, you can have it for free. Especially with Donald Trump bringing Elon Musk in for Doge. He's trying to raise some money for the United States. Things have not been going very well in the United States. And now we're showing, as some of my other videos that you can go check out on my channel, we're seeing that the economy in the United States is showing signs of suffering. I'll say this real quick, and then you can go check out some of my other videos. Now it looks like GDP was negative in the last quarter of 2024, according to some sources. Some people say it was 2.3%. Some people say it was negative 2.3%. But either way, 2.3% is low for GDP in the United States. It came in lower than expected. And so Donald Trump is doing these things, as Elon Musk said, if we don't do something about our spending, then the United States will go bankrupt. We already know that, and we've been talking about for years, that Social Security and all these other things was on the way of going bankrupt. So I think we have enough evidence to know that Elon Musk is not telling us a lie, and there may be some hard decisions that need to be made in order to keep the country in an upright position financially. So Donald Trump decided today, just 2 or 3 hours ago, that he was going to pause all military aid to Ukraine. He said it's not the end, but it is a pause. Now, I can't tell you exactly what the Trump administration had already given Ukraine, but I can say that the Biden administration has already given Ukraine $350 million worth of aid. But let's explain what that means. $350 million worth of aid does not mean that they get everything all at the same time. In some situations, the military has to go pull equipment out, make sure it's up to standard, and go through it with a fine-tooth comb so they're not giving them stuff that's going to break down when it gets there. But when a country gives you military aid, it's not the same as me just letting you borrow $20 till tomorrow. Nah, it's not like that. It's, hey, imagine I'm giving you a vehicle. If I was a country and I gave you a vehicle that nobody else could make because it was our equipment, then I would also have to give you the special made tires for it. But I wouldn't just give you 4 tires. I would give you backup tires. And because you're in war, sometimes the windshield will get shot out and you need another windshield. So that's also a part of the package. They also include extra things to fix these pieces of equipment, as they will sustain damage or sometimes be completely destroyed. Not only that, military aid can be mortar shells. Now, you just can't give somebody all your mortar shells, but you can contact companies in the United States and say, okay, we need X amount of mortar shells for Ukraine. But they're not going to be able to make them overnight. So when the Biden administration gave promises, a lot of these promises have yet been fulfilled. So when you think about it from that perspective, Ukraine could run out of bullets for the M16s that they sent. Ukraine could run out of mortars for they could run out of mortars. They could run out of replacement pieces for motors that are going out. May have a cooling issue in one, and you need a radiator, but it's not like a normal radiator. You need a fairly large radiator that's extremely tough. Or I'm just giving you an example. I'm not saying that this is exactly what happened, but this is just something to think about. So with Donald Trump freezing or pausing military aid to Ukraine, considering that the United States has given the most military aid and the most military equipment, one could imagine that this puts Ukraine in a very precarious situation. Some people feel like they deserve this, and some people, of course, disagree. I want to know in the comment section really quick. Just go ahead and hit the comments for me, if you will. What do you think? Do you think that Donald Trump is making the right move? Do you believe that we should just continue to fund Ukraine until they tell us to stop, and continue to write checks to them until they tell us to stop? Do you think that this will affect the negotiations for those minerals that Ukraine wants for its military? And for that, no, the minerals that the United States wants to get payback for all of the free military aid that the Biden administration gave. Do you think it's wrong for Donald Trump to come in and change what Biden did? Or do you think Donald Trump should honor that deal? But at this point, Donald Trump has frozen all military aid to Ukraine. If they need bullets for the guns we sent, they can't get them. If they need new tires or new windshields for the MRAPs we sent, they can't get them. Ukraine is now more than ever has their back against the wall. Ukraine now more than ever has their back against the wall. So I'm not quite sure how this is going to play out. I believe that depending on what their stockpiles look like right now, they may be able to hold out for a few more weeks. But ultimately, this is going to put Ukraine in a position where they need to negotiate something as soon as possible. They can't fight a war without the equipment to do so. Tanks are no good if you don't have replacement tracks when a track goes out, or you don't have the specific type of ammo that an American tank takes that nobody else in the world will have, because the United States doesn't make it a habit to give the Abrams tanks out, or the F-16s, the specific pieces and all the little pieces that make that plane fly. You got to get those from the United States. You may have some other nations that may have a little stuff sitting around, but maybe the Trump administration will see it disrespectful if other nations give it to them, because ultimately those other nations are going to have to come to the United States to replenish their spare parts for their planes. So Donald Trump is in a very powerful position to negotiate. And I think that's one of the reasons why Ukraine has had some issues, because they really don't, like Donald Trump said, I don't believe that they have enough cards to negotiate against the most powerful nation in the world. No matter what you think about it politically, that's who the United States is at this current time in history, and has been for decades. The world's sole superpower. So I don't know. I think this move will rush Vladimir Zelensky to the negotiating table. But this move could also embolden Vladimir Putin, especially with the intel that they have on what type of equipment they have, and they could just wait it out and see if Donald Trump is going to return and release that military aid. Now, I'm not sure if that military aid has to do with if it. Though it said he's paused all military aid, not some, but all military aid to Ukraine is currently paused. So, guys, I want to know what you think about it. Do you think that this is a good idea? Bad idea? Do you agree with the decision? I just don't think that Ukraine has much that they can do at this point. I think that was a genius move by the Trump administration to bring them to the negotiating table, not really telling you, if it's the right thing to do, but it is something that you have to think about from the position of Vladimir Zelensky, because, you could have a lot of dormant tanks just sitting around, a lot of dormant MRAPs, a lot of dormant equipment just sitting around with no spare parts. I don't know. But it seems to me that Trump is playing extremely hardball with Zelensky. And Trump means business. Anybody in the United States will already know that. I don't understand why Zelensky didn't quite understand that about Donald Trump. There's nothing in his persona that should make you think that he's the type of person to play softball, or the type of person that's going to allow you to run over him, or a type of person that you could pull a political stunt with and him just come bend the knee. He's a lame duck president. He cannot be elected again. He has nothing to lose at this point. He can do exactly as he wants. He has the Senate and he has the House of Representatives. He has a conservative Supreme Court, and he is in control of the executive branch. Plus, he won in a landslide victory. So at this current point, he has the support of the majority of the American people. Yeah, I don't think that this is going to last long. I think that Vladimir Zelensky is on the phone right now trying to get in contact with Trump. He may be on the phone with Trump. I believe the other nations in Europe are trying to scramble and see what they can do about it. I just don't think that he can withstand not having that military support for long. So I guess we'll see. My guess is that within the next week to 2 weeks, as a result of this move by Donald Trump, the Trump administration, that we will see some type of resolution or some type of deal made by Vladimir Zelensky. What's going on? I see somebody came in. Do me a favor. Hit the like button for me. I appreciate you coming in. Hit the like button for me. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think this is it for Zelensky. I believe that with this particular move, it is so powerful that even Donald Trump could demand that Zelensky hold elections and resign and step down, take the country out of martial law, or at least allow elections in his country. It's just a powerful move. They cannot move forward without American military aid. And you just don't call France and say, hey, can you make up for that military aid? Because this military aid starts in the United States, of course. Then it is transported either by commercial means, or in some cases that's what happens, and then it's transported to bases in Europe, and it's on an American military base before it is transported to Ukraine via Poland, probably. However, if Donald Trump said he paused all military aid, then the shipments that they were expecting to get today are no longer on the way. And these people are in an active war. Thank you for coming in. Do me a favor, hit the like button for me, and let me know what you think about it in the comments section. But all military aid has been paused to Ukraine, just out from the Trump administration. So now more than ever, Ukraine's back is against the wall. They need to make some negotiations, because Russia can definitely take advantage of that. And the European allies can't just all of a sudden overnight make a difference in this way. So this was a genius move by the Trump administration to force Zelensky's hand. Europe cannot fulfill, first of all, some of the specific pieces of equipment. They take specific ammo that is only made in the United States. So their guns could run dry. The M16s, the tanks, the the F-16s, the mortars, everything. Maybe the mortars, they may have a standard mortar, but, you know, when you're talking about something like that, it takes a specific thing in order to fulfill that need. So I'm not sure, guys. I do think it is a genius move. I do think that within the next week to 2 weeks, we're going to see Vladimir Zelensky at the negotiating table. And he's going to go ahead and bend the knee and play nice ball with the United States. As he said now, after all that going to Europe and Europe saying we stand with Ukraine, but everything must be backed by the United States. He's tried it, and then he met with Chuck Schumer before he went to go see Donald Trump, and now people are saying that they may have caused him to act out of character because of the conversations that he had with Chuck Schumer, which I believe is dirty, and I kind of believe that it was absolutely on purpose on the part of Chuck Schumer, having a secret meeting with a president, even though this person was in town to meet Chuck Schumer's president. I think that's just dirty. And then to have that type of blow up that you never see, it's just too many things happening for that to be a coincidence. But yeah, I think that's about it for Ukraine. This is the move. This is the straw, in my opinion, that is going to break the camel's back. Listen, guys, I don't want to hold you too long. I just want to get up here and give you that piece of breaking news. Do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel. The comment section is open. I really want to know what you think about it. I stay respectful to my responses. I respond respectfully to people who don't even agree with me. So feel free to comment in the comment section. I really want to know what you think. Do you think this was a good move on the part of the Trump administration? Do you think it was a bad move? Do you think that Trump should honor giving Ukraine all of this free funding because that's what Joe Biden said while he was president? Or do you think the United States deserves some of those minerals to repay for donating more than any other nation in the world to this conflict to the tune of 350 billion with a B dollars? Matter of fact, let me know, how long do you think it's going to take for Zelensky to bend the knee at this point, considering that his guns could run dry, considering that some of that military aid may even be jet fuel, and his planes may not have the jet fuel. As a matter of fact, the Abrams tank is fueled by jet fuel. So, and it's extremely expensive. I think this is it. I think this was the genius move that is going to force Ukraine's hand. Thank you for joining me at the Mr. Wilson's Got a Headache podcast. I'm your host, Dennis the Menace. Do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Comment section is open. And as always, I'll see you on the next video.